Mr. Vegas, Arash Markazi, joins Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas.
Another part of the show, or another part of Cofield and Company, streaming live right now up on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Arash is in. If you check out the video right now, it looks like Arash and I are sitting next to each other in the same sort of room, but I can guarantee you the building I'm in is cool. It's a great basketball arena, the Spectrum in Logan, Utah. But Arash, you are coming to us today from where?
The Los Angeles Athletic Club.
Okay. So when I hear that, I'm like, oh, it's like LVAC in Vegas. No. There's a lot of history with the LA Athletic Club. It's a big deal, and the building goes way back, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's over 100 years old. Home of the John Wooden Award. So that's what brings me here. They're handing out the hardware for the best male and female collegiate player at the end of the season.
Arash is with us, the CEO of the Sporting Tribune. Willie is here as well. All right, let's jump into a couple important things, and really right up Willie's alley is the news around the WNBA. And once again, Vegas and LA are very linked here. 3-team deal. I think Jewel Lloyd is a really good acquisition for the Aces, but man, oh man, you get a star, and a star on so many levels in Kelsey Plum. It's going to be a really big deal for the Sparks.
Yeah, listen, it's a very big deal. Again, the reason that I'm taking my headphones off is that I don't know how to do this with StreamYard. But listen, this is a very big deal for the Sparks because, listen, they needed some kind of star power, and they were really hoping to get the number 1 pick in the draft. And when that didn't happen and they didn't get Paige, not that they wouldn't have gotten a very good fit with the number 2 pick, potentially Kiki out of USC, but they really wanted that superstar guard. And when that didn't happen, I think that there was this feeling of we need to make a run for Kelsey. And listen, I'm just stoked that she's coming back home. When I say back home, she's basically San Diego, Downey, La Jolla. But I'm happy. Listen, we got a lot of juice with the Los Angeles Sparks this season.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I mean, you were in and out of Vegas, and you and I talked, and the number of stories that I've done for the Tribune. I mean, hey, De'Erica Hamby, the first visit back to Vegas, the only exclusive she gave was for us with the Sporting Tribune, and we did something there. But the fact of the matter is, I think it was time for Kelsey Plum to leave Las Vegas because when you think about it, her star power grew in this town, but at the same time, she went through, as Steve and I talked about last Tuesday, she went through some traumatic experiences in Las Vegas. Don't forget, they come here from San Antonio. She was sort of the golden child, if you will. De'Erica Hamby comes in the league in 15. She comes in 17. They move here in 18, and Asia Wilson's the number 1 draft pick. And all of a sudden, she's sort of in that shadow. Then she has a tumultuous relationship with Bill Laimbeer. She tears her Achilles. She has a divorce with, Darren Waller. The marriage, a failed marriage, I should say. It's just been such a rough city. She's overcome it and she's done it fantastically. But I have to wonder, is LA the right time, or why is LA the right town for her to sort of flourish and break free of what's been a stressful success run here in Vegas? And how do you see, the town sort of embracing her?
It's a great question, right? And we don't know if she'll be able to thrive or succeed in Los Angeles. But I do know that the young Sparks team with Cameron Brink and Rakia Jackson, they will really benefit from having a proven champion again. So you're combining, as you mentioned in your tweets, De'Erica Hamby and Kelsey Plum, who combined to win 3 straight 6th Women of the Year awards. They've won a championship. So again, I'm not saying that this is a championship team, but as this team looks to grow and develop, it is really going to be important for them to have someone like Kelsey Plum.
Arash is with us from the Sporting Tribune. Arash, one last thing, and I was texting back and forth with you, the marketing opportunities with this, with Cam Brink and Kelsey Plum. Obviously, they're both attractive ladies. I saw you put up I think it was a mash of 3 different players and kind of the walk-in outfits. And listen, this isn't being crass. There are opportunities. This is the way to make money. And Kelsey Plum in L.A., in Vegas was good, and they're a great team, but my Lord, the kind of money that she can make, that Brink's going to make moving forward, it's going to be Buffalo.
Yeah, listen, for years and years, the walk-in at WNBA games was just for Willie Ramirez. Now it's the females, and everyone's looking forward to seeing who's wearing what. What's Cam Brink wearing? What's Makia Jackson wearing? What is Kelsey Plum wearing? So I think everyone in Los Angeles is very excited about that.
Okay, you brought up the fashion. I will not let either one of you do that without mentioning the walk-in of the LA Sparks with Las Vegas's own Ray Burrell, because Ray Burrell is a top 5 in the WNBA tunnel walk with her apparel. I have to give credit to my dog,
yes.
Ray Burrell, graduate of Liberty High School.
No, listen, but to Steve's point, like now people will be watching pregame.
Yeah.
Hopefully the game itself. Again, the league has so much juice right now, and again, the college game is a big part of that.
And it's like the Laker, with the front row, like the Sunday night Lakers at the Forum. You know who I think can bring a lot to it. Also, is her right arm girl there, Danny Garcia, who sponsors her within the fashion world. You can see Danny showing up and sitting courtside and whatnot. So it'll be good. I think it's a great change. I think it's going to be good for all parties.
Willie briefly mentioned the Lakers. I saw your talk show. You had teased Lakers' embarrassing loss to the Sixers. Sixers down several key players.
Listen, I know they didn't have Paul George and Joel Embiid. And I know the Lakers lost to Anthony Davis in the first half, but you can't lose by 14 points to a very bad Sixers team when you've won 4 straight. You're supposed to go on this run here. So this is one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. One night they're going to blow out the Boston Celtics, and the next they're going to lose by 14 to a very bad Sixers team. So it's just very frustrating. And by the way, there's no doubt that this team will make a move at the deadline for a big man. Who that's going to be, I'm not quite sure, but definitely look for that to happen within the next week or so.
Well, wouldn't it be lovely if they could go out and like they used to do years and years and years ago, many times in the offseason, and be in the running for one of the best players in the league, De'Aaron Fox? I don't think that's going to happen. What do you think?
No, listen, because they don't have the capital. Like they don't have the players in terms of the young players and the draft picks. I mean, I think everyone's talking about the Spurs because of what the Spurs have to offer. And by the way, as a Lakers fan, I'm fine with that. Like the last time they swung for the fences with Russell Westbrook, that didn't work out. So I'm fine with them trying to put together a team with complementary pieces. As much as I would love Fox, that's not happening.
I think the USC-UCLA basketball rivalry is only going to get more intense here because Musselman's a lunatic. We already know Cronin is kind of the angry little person. The other night at Galen, I don't really look at Bruins fans as like super hardcore, but from what I saw and what I heard, they got crossed down and they made Galen their home, didn't they?
Listen, they've been doing that for years. I mean, they may not be hardcore, but they're more hardcore than USC basketball fans. I don't think there's any more casual fan than a USC basketball fan. They just show up at the end of the season or during tournament time. So, but listen, you bring it up, and these are two of my favorite head coaches in terms of their press conferences. Certainly Mick Cronin making news for his post-game press conferences saying these guys are delusional and they don't want to win. Like, I love it. UCLA is a tournament team. USC is not, or if they are, they're not going to go far. UCLA, I think they have the potential to be a Sweet 16 team.
I'm enjoying this conversation and Arash saying they're a ho-hum crowd, but you know what? I have to believe that Juju Watkins and Kiki Rice are drawing bigger crowds with the women games.
No, listen, Juju Watkins is getting the stars, Willie. Juju Watkins is getting like the celebrities who are going there. By the way, so cool to see Draymond Green the other night wearing a Juju Watkins t-shirt. And as much as I would love for her to have the ability to be the number 1 pick in the draft this year, USC is blessed that she's coming back next year.
Okay, listen, I got a request before Steve asks his next question. I want you to go through the archives in the back end of Sporting Tribune, and I want you to rerun the story that I wrote, her freshman year. Why
All
Kiki Rice? She gave us an exclusive before the Pac-12
That's
tournament.
right.
Why did she come to UCLA? Do you remember that?
I did remember that story. It
She's
was
from
our
Washington,
lead
D.C.,
story.
McDonald's
That's
All-American, and she said, I want to be the first person to bring a national championship to UCLA women's basketball. They're number one in the nation, and we put that in the Sporting Tribune.
Look it. I love that.
SportingTribune.com, at Sporting Trib, up on Twitter. Last couple questions, Arash. Arash always gives us the L.A. report, but let's tie L.A. together with Vegas. Pete Carroll is the coach. Reggie Bush wants to get into coaching. Does Pete Carroll owe Reggie Bush? Because Reggie Bush is the villain out of that whole thing for a long time. Maybe Pete needs to step up. Maybe it's not the running back job. Some kind of gig with the Raiders?
No, listen, I mean, I put that out there because obviously Reggie would love to coach at some point. But I listen, Pete has his staff in place. And by the way, I think we touched on this, but the Raiders could not have picked a better coach. Just a guy who comes in from day one, changes the culture, does a really good job with his young assistant coaches as well. So, I mean, he will certainly groom someone to take that job in a few years, but just love that dynamic of John Spytek, Pete Carroll. Listen, I'm not saying that they're going to be a playoff team, but wouldn't be shocked, depending on who they get to quarterback the team, maybe Russell Wilson, to see them have a similar turnaround than the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh.
Arash, you are going to be at the Super Bowl, right? We're officially confirmed on this?
I will be there, yeah.
Oh, Lord. I can't wait to see your
By the way,
yeah.
The Ike's sandwiches. He just opened a location.
I was just going to say that.
We got Ike's. We got Ike's.
You got it again?
Radio Row, second year in a row.
He's unreal. He comes out with the food right out of the gates. People come up. They love his set.
Yeah, right at the Sporting Tribune booth.
And I will tell you right now that we get it about every quarter. The face-to-face Adam Hill, Arash Markazi showdowns on radio. We'll go live on that because Adam gets twisted into a frenzy because Arash just laughs at him. Just laughs.
My favorite.
I mean, that's my highlight.
And don't give him a sandwich either.
Yeah, I think one of my favorites was last summer texting Arash from Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Yep.
After visiting his campus in Central Michigan and going to some Indian reservation casino, and there was an Ike's in the food court, and the numbers on the menu went like 1, 2, 5, 18, 19, 42, 607. I was like, where is the Arash Markazi? And the poor young kid was scared out of his mind. I was like, are you kidding me? You don't have an Arash? So I told Arash, what is it on the sandwich? He said, tell him you want this, and this, all these ingredients.
Yeah, listen, it's I've talked to Ike's. We need to get this nationwide, certainly in New Orleans before the Super Bowl.
There you go. Thanks, Arash. We'll talk to you, buddy.
All right, see you. Bye.
Do you think Arash will be part of the late night crew? If there is a late night crew in New Orleans, I'm not really sure that it's going to be possible.
Wait, the late night crew going out, or are we doing late night CNC again?
No. There's not going to be a late night podcast. Not possible.
Those are the good days.
That's a well, in some ways they were, in others they weren't. On the way back, we'll get you the preview, at least from my standpoint, here from the Spectrum in Logan, Utah. Big game for UNLV. Got to recover from that New Mexico game and maybe get a sweep of the best or second best team in the Mountain West Conference.
Sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports